Let's talk about what Ron DeSantis did. We all know what happened. We have a crisis at the border. This crisis is not something arbitrary that just happened to us. The crisis at the border is a result of deliberate political decisions made by perhaps Joe Biden, perhaps those who control Joe Biden, but regardless, made by the Biden administration. The Biden administration has refused to secure the border. They are against a border wall. They have hamstrung the Border Patrol and ICE. They do not care if illegal aliens cross our border. They do not care about the human trafficking. They do not care about the cartels. They stopped Trump's effective policies, which forced illegal aliens who were claiming asylum to wait on the Mexican side of the border until their asylum claim was adjudicated. The Biden administration has allowed catch and release, which means if an illegal alien brings a child, even a child who is not biologically related to him, across the border, that child and the illegal alien who brought that child gets let loose into the country, given a court date, and the vast majority of those given court dates do not show up to those court dates. They simply fade into the shadows of the United States. These, among other policies, including Joe Biden actually inviting illegal aliens to come to our nation, telling them we will not secure our border, you can come across our border. These have resulted in a border crisis the likes that we have never seen before in our country. We have thousands, tens of thousands of migrants crossing our border. This is an industry. This is cartels and coyotes that make thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars off each of these individual aliens. They have specific routes and transportation systems where they traffic. There's no other word that accurately describes it. They traffic these human beings across the border to make a buck, to get rich. Joe Biden's administration has allowed this. Why have they allowed this? They've allowed this for ideological reasons. They don't want our nation to be a sovereign nation. They know that if a nation does not have borders, it cannot have rule of law. If our nation does not have rule of law, then our system of government will be toppled. This is what the radical leftists want. This is the Marxist ideology. This is a Marxist tactic to try to subvert a nation from within. One of the ways that a nation can be subverted from within is by decimating the borders, the boundaries, the sovereignty of that nation. The second ideological motivation for the Biden administration and the other Marxists surrounding him is the fact that these illegal aliens change voting demographics. They come into our nation and Democrats promise them free stuff if they vote Democrat. They start voting Democrat, and then Democrats emotionally blackmail these people, emotionally blackmail them and say, listen, Republicans hate you. Republicans think you're awful. Republicans want to deport you and take away everything that we gave you unless you and your family member and your children vote for us. And that's assuming that those votes are even legal, that these people become citizens, or even the ones who don't become citizens change the makeup of congressional districts, because it's not just citizens that are taken into account when districts are redistricted. It is every person living in that area. So if you have a whole influx of illegal aliens, that determines whether that area has 1 or 2 or 3 congressional representatives. As you can see, if it's a Democratic area, that could increase the number of Democratic members of Congress. Democrats are strongly ideologically motivated to have this border crisis happen. But this border crisis hurts us. It hurts our nation, it hurts us politically, and it hurts us physically. I don't have to show you the pictures and the videos or read you the stories of what happens in these border towns where U.S. citizens' property is decimated. If you run into a cartel member, your life can be threatened. There's crime, rampant crime committed by illegal aliens who are distributed all around our country, not to mention the harm that actually comes to the migrants themselves. The fact that they are assaulted, they are sexually assaulted, they are raped, they are murdered. Some of them die on this journey. Children die. It's one of the most horrendous humanitarian crises that has happened in the Western world in my lifetime.